Joining us now is former CIA officer Jason Hansen. You wanted to teach us how to get out of duct tape.
Yes. Criminals love duct tape. It's the #1 way that people are kidnapped. So Tanya, if you don't mind, I'm just going to have you, you can wrap it around my wrist a few times.
Even the hair?
Yeah, don't worry about the hair.
Oh, no.
Because this is exactly what criminals are going to do. Yeah, you can go more, that's fine.
Okay.
So that's perfect. So criminals are going to do exactly what Tanya just did. It's going to go right around my wrist. And as you can see, ladies, I don't have any bulging muscles. So it really doesn't have anything to do with strength. What it has to do with is you put your hands about as high above your head and you come down past your hips. So I go like this, I come out, and you create the angle. Hi, I'm Jason Hansen. And today I want to share a powerful survival secret that the media won't let me talk about on TV. And it's even more important than learning how to escape from duct tape. See, I've been blessed to be featured as a survival expert on Fox News, The Today Show, and other news programs. And I've been able to teach millions of Americans life-saving survival skills in my TV appearances. And while the duct tape escape I just showed is a valuable skill, today I want to talk about something that's even more important. And here it is. What's even more important than learning survival skills is learning what emergencies are most likely to happen and focusing your training on those situations. Because home invasions and kidnappings do happen, you absolutely need to be prepared for them. But there are 5 other types of survival situations that are actually far more likely to happen and need to be prepared for these scenarios. That's why today I want to share the top 5 survival situations you need to be prepared for, and I also want to give you a free gift that will help you prepare for all of these 5 situations, and the gift is completely free. To help you prepare for the coming crisis, I want you to have a free copy of my survival Bible called Alone and Unafraid, Patriot Defense and Survival Guide. This book is the best-selling book on Amazon about surviving every possible type of survival situation. It costs $55 on Amazon, but I want to give you a copy for free today. Click Claim Book right now to get your free copy whenever you're ready. Let's talk about the 5 types of survival situations that are most likely to threaten you and your family in the next few years. Number 1 is natural disasters. These are one of the most common survival situations people find themselves in. And in my opinion, most people aren't spending enough time preparing for natural disasters to happen. Since natural disasters happen all the time and society doesn't need to break down for them to put you in a survival situation, I want to share with you what to do. For instance, just look what happened with Winter Storm Uri last year. Millions of people were left without power and transportation for more than a week. Those who prepared kept their families safe, but unfortunately, many unprepared people passed away. Every year we have hurricanes and other storms that put millions in a survival situation. You might lose your electricity and water, or you might not be able to get gas or food. Even worse, natural disasters commonly trigger looting and a breakdown of law and order. You need to prepare for natural disasters including hurricanes, floods, winter storms, tornadoes, and earthquakes, and I'll show you how in just a moment. Number 2 is riots and looting. Everybody laughed at me when I said this was a threat just a few years ago, but after what's happened in the past few years, everyone is now aware of how real and serious this threat is. For example, in Seattle, insurrectionists set up the autonomous zone where U.S. law was suspended and where police and emergency vehicles cannot even enter. And this led to a months-long rampage of murder, assault, and property destruction. We've seen riots and looting in every major city, and I believe it's very likely that every area of the country will suffer from rioting and lawlessness in the coming future. Number 3 is related. It's the elimination or defunding of the police. This completely insane idea has skyrocketed in popularity in the past year. Most of our cities have already defunded the police to some degree. And I predict that defunding and eliminating the police departments will only get worse in the coming years. We're fast approaching a time where you call 911 and they tell you nobody's coming. It's already happening in some major cities. You need to be prepared for a time where you can't rely on law enforcement because that time could be any day now. Number 4 is a terrorist attack. Joe Biden's cowardly withdrawal from Afghanistan has emboldened terrorists worldwide. And I believe that terrorist attacks are going to get more and more common every single year until we get a real man in our presidency. Not only this, but I believe that terrorists will strike with the new advanced types of attacks in the next few years. It could be an EMP attack, which puts the entire country into a blackout for months. Or it could be a biological attack that kills millions. You need to be prepared for all possible types of terrorist attacks since they're one of the most likely disasters to threaten your family. And number 5 is a socialist revolution. Again, this is one that people laughed at me just a few years ago, But in the last election, Bernie Sanders, a radical socialist who frequently praises Cuba and the Soviet Union, was very nearly elected president. Even without that, look at how so many of our freedoms have disappeared over the past few years. And I believe it's unfortunately about to get worse. Just look at what's happened in Australia. This country is in a years-long lockdown enforced by the military where all civil rights have been suspended. And Australians may never get their freedom back. Or look at what happened in Venezuela. Just a few years ago, it was the prosperous center of capitalism in South America. Today, it's a socialist dump where 86% of the population lives in extreme poverty. If a hard-left socialist like Bernie Sanders or AOC wherever sees power, the same thing could absolutely happen here. So these are the big 5 categories of disasters that threaten us: natural disasters, riots, defunding the police, terrorism, and a socialist revolution. But these are only the top 5. In addition, there are some other survival scenarios that we need to be prepared for to protect our wife and kids. But I know that you're a busy person like me, and you have limited time and money to spend on being prepared. So how can you prepare for all these disasters in a short time without spending an arm and a leg? The solution that I recommend is, again, to pick up a copy of my book. You can pay a fortune on Amazon if you want, or you can get it for free right now today. So again, click now, claim your free copy while supplies last. That's right, I'll print the book for you for free. All I ask is you cover the small shipping and handling, since the post office doesn't give me free postage. To claim your copy now, click Claim Book below. Why am I giving this book away for free? Well, there's actually 2 reasons. First, I believe that we're going to see a huge increase in the big 5 disasters in the next few years. The threat of a socialist revolution, riots, defending the police, are so severe that I'm giving this book away for every patriotic, God-fearing American who wants to protect themselves, who believes in being prepared, who believes in self-reliance. Second, I know that some people who buy the book and learn its strategies may want to invest in my other books or my survival products down the road. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but first, you got to claim your free book today while supplies last. You're going to learn so many valuable survival strategies in this book, and I know it will help you become a more prepared American. For example, on page 261 of this book, I show you exactly how to survive a blackout. With electrical outages becoming more and more common, just reading these few pages on page 261 could save your family's lives. Or what about page 71? I show you exactly how to defend yourself against cyber attacks. Thousands of people have been victimized by online thieves stealing their personal information, which they then use to steal their money. And we all know that many big tech companies are surveilling us for nefarious purposes. In this chapter, I'm going to show you a foolproof technique to defeat big tech surveillance and hackers. And this technique is incredibly simple and doesn't require any technical skills at all. On page 491 of this book, I'm going to show you how to survive if you're caught in the middle of a riot or looting spree. Thousands of Americans have lost everything they've owned to looters and rioting, and of course, they're only becoming bolder as police are being defunded and prosecutors are letting them go. So, because hundreds of Americans have died, you absolutely need to know the information in this chapter on page 491. Once you read it, you'll know exactly how to survive if a woke mob comes after you. You won't just be another victim, and you'll rest easy knowing that you can defend your family. Those are just a few examples in this jam-packed book. My book contains hundreds of valuable techniques that will teach you how to survive every possible type of emergency. So don't procrastinate anymore. Click Claim Book right now to get your free copy. Once this ends, you'll have to pay full price on Amazon. Here's what a few people like you have to say about Alone and Unafraid.
I really like the style in which you wrote Alone and Unafraid, and I learned so much from this book. I liked the short and informative chapters. There were hundreds of links that direct you to some really good detailed information on that topic. I particularly like Chapter 6, Disaster Preparedness, How to Survive Any Crisis. And you gave some really good insights in the chapter, especially that one called You Can't Drink Gold on page 353 that totally changed my whole survival strategy. I have a number of your books, and this one is absolutely the best by far. Alone and Unafraid is chock full of useful information that will save your butt in a disaster. Highly recommend this book to anybody. Everyone should have a copy of this. Jason, thank you very much for sharing this information.
To put it mildly, this book is essential reading. From survival to defense techniques, this book provides the kind of information that even advanced preppers might not necessarily know. I've been a survivalist for years, and this book occupies an important place in my library. Thank you. I walk more confidently, and I feel I can protect my wife and myself if the situation demands it.
Alone and Unafraid is presented in short, easily digestible pieces that could very much stand on their own. Every time you pick it up, you will learn new strategy insights, survival strategies, and actionable instruction that you can put to work right away. Many of these relate to everyday life as opposed to special once-in-a-lifetime situations, especially the type we try to avoid. It's clear that Jason's CIA training provided a lot of background and experience that he shares. Every volume is packed with information, but as mentioned, you can digest it at your own pace. Every chapter provides value. Thank you, Jason, for writing this book, and I highly recommend that everyone out there pick up a copy.
Claim your free copy of Alone and Unafraid right now. This is your last chance. Click Claim Book today and ensure you and your family can survive whatever disaster comes our way.